call the victim.
Take us through his testimony. What did he say on direct, and how did you deal with it in cross?
So on direct, he said that he definitively knew it was my client. He was there, I guess, to buy drugs. He wasn't saying that in any of his other statements. He said he was there to buy drugs from my client. And he said that my client was like, "You owe me." And he said that he was just like, my client was tripping. My client was all over the place. He describes who gets him out the door, which is my client's brother. And then he said it was an hour later. He says definitively, I saw him coming down the street, go sit at this home and watch me from across the street. And then he came out and said, "I got you, B word," and boom, like shoots 10 shots. That's what he said on direct. Oh, and he said that he is no longer on drugs. And he said that he's no longer on drugs and that he's clean. He's no longer on drugs, but he was there to buy drugs. That's where he stayed. So
After the prosecution finishes, they tender the witness to you, and you get to cross-examine him. Take us through your cross-examination of the alleged victim.
I started in the home. So I walked him back through it. I'm one that will lock you back in. I walked him back through, try to lock him into what he just had said. So you just testified that, you went to my client's home after the benefit. So you weren't at the benefit. He was like, "No." I'm like, "You didn't see my client before, see what he was wearing. You didn't know, but you said he was wearing white and black." He was like, "Well, yeah, but he had to change." I said, "But in the home, you said he was wearing white and black. I'm doing this. I'm locking him into this, what he had on." I was like, and at some point you end up at this fire station. And at the fire station, you are in an ambulance. I said, and you told the ambulance people who are in EMS or EMTs, when they asked you his name, you said Gene Harrod, Gene Wilson, Gene Harrod, or Gene Wilson or something. And he said, "Why would I say that? I would never say that. I know my cousin's name." I said, "Okay." And you didn't, when talking to the officers at the hospital, you didn't say, when you saw somebody coming down the street that you couldn't see who it was. So you were like, "Yo, who is that?" And he said, "No, why would I didn't know? No, I initially, yeah, I didn't know. But as soon as he got closer, I knew exactly who it was. That was him." I said, "You also said the person was in all black." So I'm walking him through things that have not even came up, right?
You essentially allowed him to get on the witness stand and tell a bunch of lies that you knew were contradicted by the evidence, right?